Hello everyone and welcome back to F1 2019 in the Shanghai Grand Prix in China. We're just gonna go for our messages for now. Emma's saying that if we get 9th or better in quali, then we get 600 resource points, which is not that good. Our weight reduction upgrade has failed, so we're just quickly going to go back and fix that. Our engine power upgrade has gone on the car, however, which is really good for us because we have a long straight in Shanghai, so we're going to have better straight line speed, somewhat better straight line speed, but we are still third from the bottom, which isn't very good. But anyway, we did get a new upgrade for the car in terms of engine power, and we're just checking out the durability upgrades and the aerodynamical upgrades that are still available for purchase while we're not actually having that many resource points. But anyway, I'll come back to you after practice. So this is now after all 3 practice sessions that we did. We have an upcoming session message from Emma and 2 messages from Jeff as well. One's the weather forecast and the other's just a report on the whole track, but let's go to quali now.
Welcome to Shanghai, China, for what I've no doubt is going to be a fantastic F1 qualifying session. And I'm here, of course, with Anthony Davidson on what has turned out to be a very pleasant day indeed. No weather to interfere, no problems on the track, so absolutely no room for error.
That's right, Crofty. It's looking good out there at the moment. Each team will have their own game plan for this session, and of course, once the cars leave the garage, they'll be under parc fermé conditions, so any last-minute adjustments need to be done right here and now. Beyond that, it's all up to the driver. Who can keep their tyres in the right temperature? Who can hit their apexes? No race fuel on board these days, of course. These are the fastest cars we've had in a long, long time, and it's right here in qualifying where they're at their absolute peak. Let's get started.
So this is going to be our banker lap time in Q1. We're just going to cross the finish line, DRS open, chuck it up to a hot lap, and we are not very competitive right now. We drop back to 18th as the session comes to a close. This is the last lap that we get in Q1. We're trying really hard, we chuck it back up to hot lap, and we cross the finish line to come in P13 for now, but as the session actually ended, we dropped back to 15th, which is really good. Unfortunately, Lando has had to finish in P19, so he's going to start racing P19, while Russell, Kubica, Raikkonen and Giovinazzi also go out of this session. So once qualifying 2 has actually ended, we're not in the top 10, meaning we're not going to go to the next session in qualifying 3. We're actually stuck in 15th, quite far behind. Well, actually, yeah, like 2/10 behind Alexander Albon, so it's not ideal. But still, it's not the worst qualifying position we could have had. And this is the result in terms of the rivalry for qualifying. We're still losing the rivalry by 3 points after Lando Norris, and we did get some resource points for the session, which wasn't, it's not a whole lot. It's not a practice session where we get programs to get more points, but we actually have 961, and our reputation with some of the teams has increased and decreased with others, which is not too bad, and we have more respect for us in terms of person. But anyway, without any further ado, I guess let's go to the race.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. We're here in the Yangtze River Delta today, home of the 16 corners that make up the Shanghai International Circuit. 54% of this 3.3-mile lap is taken at full throttle, and we'll be getting up to speeds of around 200 miles an hour, with DRS assisting the cars down the back straight before they brake into the sharp hairpin at turn 14. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Gasly, Bottas, Max Verstappen and Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Perez, Weber and Sebastian Vettel, Butler, Grosjean, Alexander Albon, Moore, Giovinazzi, Kubica, Daniel Ricciardo and Kimi Raikkonen. Norris and George Russell ends our grid lineup. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
I'll try, Jeff. But, yeah. I'll try. I really want a point finish in this race, but anyway, yeah, I just sped up the strategy changes because I tried a few things, but nothing really made that big of a, difference in the whole race. So we're going to start on the hard compound and move on to the mediums, but by the time we're actually going to end the hard stint, the rain is probably going to start falling, so we're going to move on to the intermediates after the hards. But this is actually us in the formation lap, forming up the grid and etc. It's not very interesting, but we warmed up the tyres pretty good, so we might actually have a good chance at getting a few points or a few positions at the start of this race. 5 red lights are out and away we go from P14. We don't get a good start on the mediums, we don't have that much grip and we get mugged off by Giovinazzi and Kubica going into turn 1. We try and take the position back from either the Williams or the Alfa Romeo or both. We touch Kubica on the side a little bit and we go on past the inside of Albon. Butler's right in front of us and Albon is still side by side with us into turn 2 and going into turn 3. He actually takes the position back when we take a lunge up the inside and potentially Butler as well, but he closes the door on us and actually shoves us out onto the gravel a little bit, and Albon gets a good toe on us and is side by side with us into the S section for now, but he's still there. He's showing the nose, so I can't actually go on the racing line properly, but we shove him out a little and we try and catch Butler. Now he's up next, but yeah, it's turn 2, or not turn 2, lap 2. We're on the straight and Albon is still behind us. Butler got away from us, but Albon gets a good run through the last corner or the penultimate corner or whatever corner that was, and actually goes past us on the straight, and we outbrake him, potentially even touch him, and we shove him out a little, so Raikkonen actually moves up his inside. This is lap 5 now, we just crossed the finish line onto lap 6, and Raikkonen is actually trying to make a move into turn 1 on our inside. He's parking the bus, I can't actually turn in on him, but yeah, we get a good run through that bit and Raikkonen actually touches us, trying to shove us out onto the grass. He must have learned it from Giovinazzi, his teammate, in the last Grand Prix, that I'm easy going and he can push us around a few times, but yeah, this is not how it's going to go, Raikkonen, because he went past us, but I'm fiercely and forcefully going to make a lunge up his inside to take position number 8. No, it was number 8 in lap 5 back from him. This is lap number 8 now. Butler has gone away from us and some people actually made a pit stop, but since we're on the hard compound it's going to go fine. But Albon's trying to go up our inside, but we keep it around the outside, but so it's the inside for our next corner, and we actually show him out, and I can see a bit of rain on the camera yet. There's a massive dot right in the middle, so the rain has started falling, so it's looking pretty good for us right now, as the weather report actually states that it's fine for the dries right now, as Albon flies past us in the straight, so we try and outbrake him, and once again using a lot of force to take the position number 5 back, and we get a warning for the collision with Albon that we just had, and we get an a strategy update just as we were about to go in the last corner to come in for the intermediates, which is quite a good thing for us, and just about making the pit entry required speed, slowing down speed, so that's amazing. And in lap number 9 we actually come in for the intermediates. I think we're the only ones, or just with like a couple other people, and Russell's right behind us. I think he just came in for a new pit stop, and Ricciardo's right in front of us as we come out the pits in P12 on lap 9. But our intermediate seems a bit slippery for right now, but I'm sure by the end of this lap they're going to kick in full speed as we actually catch up to Ricciardo a mile a minute. So yeah, the intermediate's working out really well in the second half of this lap as the slicks actually drop off in terms of pace, and you can just see the leverage I get over Ricciardo in the straight. But that Renault power unit and the engine in a straight line speed and all, even in wet conditions, he's getting the better of us, but we actually try and outbrake him as there's a piece of front wing right there, and our teammate Lando is in the pits for his intermediate change of tyre. But as we go on the last corner of this lap, there's a few people in the pits right now, so we're just about to see where we're going to come out of in the whole pit stop section. Be number 5, as the people that had to stop before had to stop again for the intermediates.
We're expecting the rain to get worse within the next few minutes. Inters seem like the fastest tyre for now.
Okay, so the rain's going to get worse, which is good news, meaning that we're going to go to the full wets possibly. But as we say that, we go down the inside of Devon Butler, but he hangs it around the outside onto the next corner, which would be the inside line, as we squeeze him out a little and he has to lift off so we don't collide. Yeah, the AI seemed very slow in the wet conditions, and we caught up to Grosjean in the first turn of the next lap, I believe, and we're going past him on the inside line. He touches us a little bit, which is completely fine as no damage has been done to his or my car, and it's looking pretty good. And 3 laps later, Bottas is trying to go down our inside, which is fine. We're trying to hang around the outside for him. He actually touches us and we slide up a little bit, and there's yellow flags and Bottas is nowhere to be seen, and the virtual safety car is actually being called out. So let's have a look at it from Lewis Hamilton's POV. Bottas actually gets caught in my rear right tyre and he spins a little bit, losing a bit of time, but that's not drastic things, not like him going out the race or anything, just lost like 5 seconds. But in the same lap on the straight, Max Verstappen is actually out of this race with an engine failure, as you can see right there, almost taking out Vettel on the re-entry to the track, and retires nicely. But on lap 20, we're actually going in for a full wet tyres, but as you can see, not every single person on the grid actually comes in for the full wet. For what I've actually learned later on, the rain eases off a little, so there was no point to actually going on the full wet, but at the minute I didn't know that. So yeah, it's not our best strategy altogether, but we come out in P number 5 and 6 and 7, so ultimately it's P7 for us in the race right now with 7 laps left, as we try and catch up to Hulkenberg close enough for me to actually go around his inside or outside bit. It really doesn't matter to me as long as I get the position, and we get some nice run as we chuck up the ERS deploy mode into high, and we make a move down his inside into that corner that has seen many overtakes during this race. We actually catch up to Magnussen there as well and go down his inside into turn 1, but he actually puts the nose back up just afterwards, but he's not close enough to make the switch back move, and we're in P number 5 and possibly even being able to keep the position for the next 6 laps of this race. But this was the minute I've realised that I've had my fuel mode in which for way too long, and we're actually 2 laps behind the target fuel. So yeah, with 6 laps left, I only have 3.5 laps of fuel, so we might not actually have enough fuel to finish the race, but possibly we try our best with a lap left to go. I have to defend. I get hit by Perez and actually overshoot the corner because of getting hit and just a lot of speed I gained for no reason, while I was actually trying to brake for the corner. But yeah, Perez is trying to go back on our inside. It did not work into the X section, but this is lap 27 now, obviously the penultimate lap of the whole race. We have just drips of fuel left, so we might not actually end up finishing this race because our ERS mode is very high compared to everything that we need to do. But obviously I actually do need to save the position, but that does not matter anymore as I get hit trying to block all these guys going past me because we are in low fuel mode with 1 lap left of the race. It's a heartbreak, and we're in P12, and also we decide to retire the car.
Great effort there from Ferrari to take the victory today. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
It's a heroic effort for any driver to race in conditions like these, and seeing them fight their way to the front was very special indeed. They were able to find all the grip, all the good lines, and had the confidence to get on the power to top it all off. That's what pushed them into first place here today.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
So Lando Norris is 13th as well, so it's a double no points finish for McLaren this race. Seeing as we had quite a good grid position and Lando didn't, I thought it would be the opposite way around and he'd be in a low, non-point scoring position, but I was hoping that we might get a few points in this race, as Jeff before the race also mentioned that we have to keep the momentum going with the point scoring positions. But unfortunately for us today, we messed up the strategy and actually messed up our whole race, which isn't ideal. So this is the result in terms of the rivalry. Lando is getting 4 points while I get 2, so that means I'm losing the rivalry by 5 points against Lando. I don't really care, to be honest, because he's my teammate, and as long as he's doing well, I'm happy for him. Along with the team doing quite well, and we have 1,202 resource points after that race. We go back in terms of respect level because we had to DNF. It's obviously not ideal. I know Emma is going to kick off at me right now for not finishing the race and also not getting any points in this race. So that's it's not just embarrassing, but it's bad. It's a shame, and I'm just looking around saying sorry to all the guys around me. But yeah, this is the debrief, and Carl is also disappointed in us, while Emma is messaging us in terms of invitational events, which we do not care about because we're just going to skip it anyway. And Emma's also sent us 2 transcripts in terms of the interview for Devin Butler and Lucas Weber, our F2 rivals. And honestly, as I said before, you can stop the video at any time if you'd like to read the transcripts, but I'm just looking for all the important things, like if one of them mentions us, then I'll read that. But honestly, that's the only thing I care about. And also Devin, but it's not very important in terms of our career mode right now. and it's not influential to us in any way, shape, or form. We're not actually getting some stuff that we need, some information in terms of the race speeds and secrets. But yeah, that was the Shanghai race. As I said, it's a really disappointing result for us. I'll now do the invitational event off screen. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, press the like button, don't forget to comment and subscribe, and press the little bell icon so you don't miss any videos. But for now, goodbye.